Hey guys, and welcome back on the Dark Vanities in the name of horror, of fantasy, and gothic fiction. I am Kame Matteo Camarda, a friend of Alexander Fallati that you know in Insubria, your classmate. Here I am today to reveal my method that I use for studying. I remember that once, I think 2 years ago, when I was in my second year of university, 3 years ago actually, I managed to make 8 exams in 1 week. I remember maybe in 2 or 3 days, 8 exams, orals and written exams, taking always 30 or 30 lode, so the 30 plus, okay, the maximum marks that you can get in university. So, what was the secret that I have and that I want to give you because you are the friends of Alexander and he's my best friend, so you are one of us, okay? So, actually, the method is really simple, but firstly, let me explain what I mean by method. So, the thing is simple, and it's that there are two types of people. Some people use to collect the more information that they can. In this case, these people are studying every word, every single comma and dot. They know everything about any subject. But then, when they need to expose through a written exam or during an oral, they cannot. They give everything that they can, but the person, the teacher, is not satisfied. And that's because these people are not respecting the task assigned, the assignment, okay? So if the assignment is about only one aspect of that subject, you cannot provide everything, every single information that you have. That's not what you are required to do, okay? So, today I will use 2 examples. The first one is the tiles. The second one is the conceptual map. So, the tiles is the first way, the way where the wrong one, where people are just studying everything from scratch. I mean, from this every single word, every single comma, every single aspect of that subject, they know it, but they don't have the ability to make assume. So they don't know how to explain something briefly. The second example, and the most important one, the method that I use personally, is the conceptual map, where you have the main idea in the center, okay? Then around it you have the macro areas, and then each macro area has its own 4 or 5 keywords. Let me explain this concept through an example. Okay, so now we are at the exam in uni. It doesn't matter if it is written or if it is spoken. Now, the teacher asks you to tell him or her about the Second World War. What do? If you are a person who uses to learn everything, you start with a big and massive speech telling everything, and that is wrong. That is the tiles example, the first one, the wrong way, where you say everything and the teacher just simply gets tired and bored by your speech. The teacher doesn't want you to explain and expose everything. The teacher expects from you that you are capable of building a structured and brief and meaningful speech, okay? This means, in simple words, that then it's not important the quantity of information that you give, but it's important the quality of this piece of information, okay? So take this advice from me, which I am a bit experienced in this subject. Now, the teacher asks you to tell everything that you can. In other words, the teacher asks you to expose about the Second World War. What do? If you are the first type of person who studies everything, you start telling everything that you can. The type of weapons used during the Second World War, who was the actor, so who were the allies, who were the enemies, and what happened, what didn't happen, what could have happened, everything that you understood from learning everything that you could in your life and during the studies. But that's the wrong way. Another person, for example Alexander, what would he do? When he studied with me, he learned this way, this method of the conceptual map. So, write with me. In the center, it's like the spider graph, okay? So, in the center, you write Second World War. Around it, you write simply the macro areas. For example, one is allies, the second one enemies. Then what caused the conflict, the consequences, and then what happened during the war, what were the phases. For example, the first part of the conflict engaged Russians, not the Russians, engaged England and Germany, for example, or Germany and Poland, for example, no? Then the last part, USA, so the Americans and Russians went against the German, okay, the Nazis, Hitler. Okay, so the thing is, here you have the macro areas around around the main idea of the topic that you have chosen. So in this macro area, you write down 4 or 5 keywords, not basing on the importance of each keyword, but based on the way that you are structuring your speech. So in this way, you provide the information structured. You make some kind of skeleton of your speech through these keywords, connected, linked one to another, to the next one, and then you don't need to remember every single word and comma of the topic. You just need to understand how your speech will begin and how it will end. In other words, in this example, you start with the causes. Why it started the Second World War? Then, who were the actors in this place? On this side, the allies. On the other side, the enemies. Why they were together? Why they were in conflict? Okay, these are the keywords. Then you move towards again, and you go towards through the consequences of the conflict, how Europe changed. For example, Germany was divided in 2 pieces. One managed through by the Allies, English and Americans. The other side in the east by the Russians, the URSS, okay, the Soviets. So that's the point. Okay, guys, I wanted this video to be brief, so I will not repeat again the same idea. The thing is, stop using all the information that you have in one speech. Instead, create these kind of graphs and then develop the skeleton of the speech where you can emphasize some aspects and reduce the amount of information from other pieces. And then, most importantly, you need to have the clear picture before, okay? It's not, I know everything about this topic, I say everything. No, that's not the case. This worked 20 years ago, not now. Now, people want from you that you can explain an idea and an argument topic without pushing away everything, pushing out everything that you have, but structuring a brief and functional speech. Remember, not the quantity, we want the quality from you. So you are not requested to say everything. You are requested to structure the speech briefly, clearly, with all the points needed in one place. Okay? Make the spider graph with the concepts linked from the center to the points around and the macro areas and the keywords, and structure your speech. Forget the old way. Forget the tiles where you put one on the other, and then the foundation breaks down because you have put too much information. Your brain cannot remember all of this, and then you get confused. You forget the main points because you are just focused on the details, and you are not just considering the main points, the entire picture, okay? Well, you need to make the opposite. You have to clear in mind the entire picture, and when needed, you can emphasize and expose the details when needed about a certain topic or argument or whatever it is. But only if the teacher asks you to do so. Otherwise, you are just making a heavy, really heavy and boring speech. People just don't want to switch on the documentary or a podcast. They want you to expose. You need to be clear, brief. Okay, you need to be brief without talking for 20 or 30 minutes about, because you don't have these minutes available. When you go to make the written exam or a spoken one, you have just, for example, 15 minutes to write or to expose orally, and within these 15 minutes, you need to expose correctly. But the main focus of the exam is not the quantity of information that you provide. The main focus of the exam is how much time do you applicate to expose, okay? Because in these 15 minutes, you will have probably 3-4 questions from the teacher, not just one. And then you need to understand how to distribute, how to reserve that perfect amount of time for each question, okay? You don't need to make 15 minutes of a perfect, wow, wonderful speech and then 0 minutes for the other 3 questions, okay? You need to understand how to distribute your time. That's the lesson of today. If you appreciate it, I kindly ask you to subscribe to the channel. I'm Matteo Camarda on Dark Vanities. 2 years ago, I was in Insubria like you. So I'm not an alien, a god, or a stranger, okay? I was a student like you. The main focus of this video was not showing how I got to get every exam 30 or 30 plus, even less, never less than 29 or 28, okay? That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to make you learn the right method of studying. Because if you have the method, then you can apply it to each subject. Okay, and that's all. For now, I don't have anything else to add to the lesson. I hope that you understand. If you have other questions, you can contact me through Alexander, or you can write down in the comments below. And that's all, guys. I hope that you pass all your exams without making and trying them twice or 3 times, okay? And I hope that this video was useful. That's all, my friends. In the name of horror, of fantasy and gothic fiction, I am Matteo Camarda. Goodbye, my friends.